Welcome back, everybody. So, Sunday just gone, it was Nottingham Gaming Market. First time I'd been to Nottingham. In fact, I think it was the first time this show was on, organised by the same people who do Doncaster Gaming Market. Anyway, I was there in my apprenticeship role again, helping out Craig on his stall. And I filmed a bit of footage before the event opened. So I think what I'll do is I'll throw that up now. So obviously most people are probably just tuning in to watch that. So you can see what the event was like and what kind of traders were there. They were all the regulars mainly. No Japanese Alan, unfortunately. But it was a really good venue, I felt. Really spacious. Much more space in the aisles than any other event I'd been to. So hopefully they'll do it again. But got myself a few golden pickups. So if you're interested in that, either fast forward the event footage or hang around and stay to watch afterwards. Otherwise, if you just want the footage, I'll bang that up now. So what did you think? Good event, you know, I felt. I didn't walk around that much, if I'm honest, because by the time I set the stall up and we got talking to people, I didn't have much time for walking around myself. But I had a quick shufter before it started. When I, you know, while I was doing that footage, I was looking around at the same time. It was quite light on tubers. Weren't many there really, so it was quite quiet in that sense. However, I did meet a few, so I'm trying not to forget any. Most of the regulars weren't there, like I say, but I did meet obviously Stu, because he was stalling out himself, so great to see Stu again. Top lad. Go check it. I'm sure Stu will do a video of his own at some point, so go check that out when he does. Obviously Dana had got a stall, Hidden Chest. Ant and Dana were there, and then the regular stalls were there, like Doorway to Darkness, Sore Thumbs, Console Passion, all the regular ones you'd expect, except Japanese Alan. But like I say, the venue was really quite a spacious hall. I think it was a sports hall in a leisure centre actually, which allowed for much more space behind the tables for the traders and much more space in the aisles for the punters. So although it never got, well, it never felt like it got crowded, but I think because there was so much space, that helped it look less crowded, if you like. And there was also this staggered entry where, you know, everybody didn't pile in at the start, which I think they've kind of turned away from now, and I think it works better, to be honest. Speaking from like a behind the stall point of view, it does give you a constant flow of people throughout the day, rather than like too many people who can't get a look in all at the start. So I think it works better. But anyway, back to tubers who I met. Yeah, so Stu, Dana and Ant. Obviously Craig, because I was helping him on the stall. And then I met a couple of guys for the first time, which I'd never met before. First of all, there was Craig Minx36, who Craig, stall holder Craig, introduced me to, because I think he was big on YouTube years ago before I ever got into it. So I wasn't aware of him, so Craig introduced me, and obviously he's now come back on the tubes. So I've obviously watched his modern content. So go, if you haven't checked out Minx36, go check him out. I'll try and put a link in the description to all these guys I mentioned. Then I met, who else did I meet? Oh, the other guy I met for the first time, it just suddenly appeared. There he was. It was Kev, Access Area 6. I'd heard him say he was going on his video, and so I thought, oh, I might bump into him. But then I think the event, yeah, the event had not been on that, maybe about halfway through. He suddenly appeared at the sort of the side of the stall. I thought, hello, mate. Nice to meet you. Shook his hand. And then all of a sudden he'd gone again. I never saw him again. So anyway, it was great to meet Kev, Access Area 6. And then another surprise was meeting the legend himself, the Girthmeister, Galtooth. He got him right at the start, I think before the event opened. You know, he used his girth discount. And obviously he was so sexual, the guy on the door must have let him in early because, you know, he needed to be there. So I had a good chat with Galtooth. 2 or 3 times he come around to the stall. So awesome to meet the legend himself again. That's the second time I think I've met Galtooth. Who else did I meet? Saw Callum briefly, Retro Ghetto. Said a quick hello to him. Pointed him in the direction of Craig, because Craig had got something for him. And then I didn't see him again, other than at the front of the stall, much later in the day, when it was quite busy. I think that was it. Oh no, sorry, one more. I met Liam, Retro Ram again. He came to the stall about halfway through the day. Had a bit of a chat with him about Master System. Don't envy you going for that set now, mate, but all the best. And I think that was it, actually. Yeah, I don't think I saw another tuber. Apologies if I've missed you. but I don't think there were any more. Oh, and obviously Roy was on the stall as well, so awesome to have a good chat with you, Roy. The day went along in no time, I thought. Right, so I got myself a few pickups, and I think these are rather special myself. I didn't particularly go to buy anything. However, I did sort of organise this with Craig in the months prior, since Doncaster really. Craig had saved a bunch of stuff for me. So it was just a matter of time until this event came round and I finally picked it up off him. We've also done a bit of a trade. I've passed some stuff on to him to sort of ease the burden of the cost, if you like. And aside from that, I wasn't looking for anything except for one item in particular, which I've been trying to get for must be the last 3 events at least. And every time I've missed out. Somebody's beat me to it, or they've been out of stock or whatever. And I've been desperate to get one of these for months and months and months, and I finally got one off Fob anyway. We've got the Outrun sign. Like I say, I've been desperate to get hold of this, because he does these sort of marquee signs printed on metal. You're probably aware if you've been to a show. It's difficult to get. When you catch them in the light, they're magnificent. I wanted this in the arcade, basically. I've since kind of filled the gap I'd left for it, because I got sick of waiting for it, to be honest. So now I've finally got one. I've either got to move things around that I've now put in place, or I've got to find somewhere else for it. I did suggest to the wife that the old family portrait could come down in the living room and I could replace it with this. Didn't go down too well, if I'm honest. So somewhere must be found for this, because, I mean, just look at it. Magnificent. So I'm chuffed to have finally got one of them off Fob. And then the only other stall I got stuff off was off Daz McGowan, who's totally my tutor. And like I said, I'm not really looking for anything, because all the stuff, obviously Daz got a lot of Atari, and all the Atari I'm looking after now, or you know, all that's left on my list is, aside from 2 which I can get, I'm just waiting to get one at the right price. All the others are all in America. However, I looked at this game off Daz at the previous event and nearly bought it. I gave in, and I've got myself Quick Step on the 2600. There is a manual with it as well. I've filed that with my other loose manuals. An Imagic game. It's quite rare, especially if you want a boxed one. I think this is obviously a different label variant. I think this might be American. I'm not sure, but anyway, it works fine. Really class game. I'm chuffed I bought it, to be honest. It's kind of one of them that was on my list, but not like top priority, if you like. It's kind of like Cubit, only the screen. I'll put some footage up. It's like Cubit. You have to change the squares to your colour, but you've got an opponent, and he's also changing the colour to his colour. And it's kind of a race to change more than your opponent does while the screen is scrolling down. And you've got to constantly keep jumping up to avoid dropping off the bottom of the screen while trying to turn over more squares than your opponent. Really, really good. So I'm chuffed with that. That's Quick Step on the Atari. And then Daz the Legend, he said to me, there's some Super Famicom there. If there's anything you fancy, it's yours. So, most kind, Daz. I really appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much. Anyway, there were 3 I quite fancied. The first of them is King of Rally. I've seen this about before and always kind of been curious. I didn't have a clue what it was. I was assuming it was a racer. Again, I'll put some footage up. It is a racer, as you can see. It's kind of, I think it's an early Super Famicom title. It's all Mode 7, so it was obviously that the developer got excited by the Mode 7 technology and thought, right, how can we make a game using Mode 7? So they give it a bash. It's not the best of efforts, but it is quite playable, to be honest, and it does look alright. Obviously it would have looked brilliant at the time, I'd imagine. Like I say, it's all Mode 7, and I think it's a bit of a rip-off of the Paris-Dakar Rally, really. It does play quite well. It's quite slow, but because of the viewpoint, it does work quite well. It's not bad, actually. It's alright. If the chance came to upgrade that to boxed, I might. Anyway, the next one I've got is Ranmof. Now I remember trying this way back in the day. Way back. And it's kind of I think it's a Japanese manga series. I don't know anything about it aside from this game. And there is another Ranma game you can get as well. I think this one came out PAL. The only one I think to come out PAL. I think the other one's a Japanese exclusive. Anyway, it's a one-on-one fighter. Quite bizarre. You know, you can fight as a panda as one of the characters. But it's really not bad, this. It's a bit strange in the fact that up isn't jump. You've got to use a button for jump. And then it's quite basic. You've basically got a jump, a kick and a punch. And there seems to be one super move from what I can tell just by bashing the punch button. Does like a Chun-Li style attack, the guy I was using anyway. But not a bad game. Again, I'd consider getting that boxed as well if the opportunity came. Then the last one I decided to grab, thank you to Daz, is Hatrick Hero 2. Now I did show this a while back. I got the original Hatrick Hero boxed up when I upgraded my cart only. So I've now got the sequel cart only. It's just as good, honestly. This is a cracking arcade football title. Really, really good. As you'll see from the footage, it's quite similar to the other one. I couldn't score for love nor money. Every time I got to the penalty box, the striker was useless in my team. Every shot was over the bar. But that said, it's a good game. Right, next up. Now, all this stuff, what's remaining, I got off Craig. And all but two of them were pre-arranged, you know, from months ago. But when we were packing up, I found a couple of titles while I was putting the stuff back in boxes on the stall, and I thought I'd quite like to grab those. The first one is Tempest X on the PS1. Tempest's an amazing game. I remember this version being quite good, but I've not played it since back in the day. I still preferred Tempest 2000 on the Jag, that's my memory, but I did think this was good. I seem to remember there's more graphical kind of flashiness to this one, but I've not tried it yet, so I'm looking forward to trying that again. And then this one, this was like really cheap. I completely forgot about this, and I just saw the box and I thought, wow, I remember playing that, and I seem to remember it was really good. It's an Ocean published title as well. I mean, what's happened to Ocean? I don't know when the last game they produced was, but this has got to be close. But yeah, it's ski racing. Like I say, I remember this being really, really good. Not tried it yet, so I'm looking forward to it. No manual, unfortunately, but it's probably rubbish. But I'm looking forward to trying it again. Because I can't remember anything about it, but it just, in the back of my mind, it was good. That's all I can remember. Right, and I've doubled my PAL PS1 collection there, because previously I'd got 2, now I've got 4. Next up, we've got a PS2 game, and we've got Saria Revision. It's one of these budget simple releases, but to be honest, I've tried Saria before it's done nothing for me. And this was fairly cheap, and I thought I'll try another one. I've had a quick go. I've probably put some footage up. It's kind of okay. Just nothing special. Doesn't look particularly fancy. That tends to be what Saria is to me. They're all kind of, it's all right. I'm not going to buy another one. It's all right. That's all I can say, really. Then the last PS1 game, sorry, the last game is a PS1 game. I've been trying to get, well, as many PS1 shooters as I could. This is not a cheap one, unfortunately. But, like I said, I saw it at Donny. Anyway, we've picked up the Tower Plan Shooting Collection 1. Shooting Battle, sorry, 1. Apparently there were supposed to be more of these, but whoever was producing them went bankrupt and there were never any more. There was only ever one volume. This is Tiger Heli, QQ Tiger and Twin Cobra, which it's basically two games. It's the original Tiger Heli, and it's both the eastern and western versions of QQ Tiger. And these are the arcade ports, or arcade emulations, whatever you want to call it. And you can play them Tarsay as well, which is really good. I've had a quick go on these. You can mess with the speed, because the standard speed seems way too slow to me. But you can alter it to arcade speed, and it seemed better. And then I did quickly try it on Tarsay, but it wasn't on my Tarsay setup. So I was kind of trying to play it sideways, and it seemed again better again. So need more time on this, but what a stunning box. I think Craig said on the day that it was the best PS1 shooter box art, and I can't disagree. I mean, it is a stunner. So yeah, that's the Tower Plan Shooting Battle 1. I mean, there's loads of PS1 shooters I haven't got, but you know, some are crazy prices. I'm not paying it. Right, now we come to the real gold. Again, these I saw at Doncaster, and they didn't sell, and I thought, I need them in my life. And I'd already had the one at Doncaster, so had to get these. Anyway, the first one we've got is Galaxy Invader 1000, one of these CGL handhelds. If you remember, I bought the orange one, Galaxy Invader 10,000. I'm just looking at it because it's over there. And I've cleared a nice little space for a display of these. So yeah, these are just awesome. Missing the battery cover, unfortunately. So I mean, I've more or less got no chance of getting one of them, I'd imagine. Mrs. Bear did suggest a 3D print, possibly, if somebody knows anything where you can get the plan from. That might be possible, I don't know. If I could get that done somewhere. Anyway, it does work anyway. Works on mains as well. I've not tried it on batteries, but fortunately I've got a mains adapter that fits this, and I can use it on mains. So, you know, not the end of the world, but it'd be nice to have the battery cover. And that sits nicely with the orange one. Then next up, we've got Munchman. I mean, these are so cool, these 80s tabletops. I just love them. In quite nice condition. The sticker's gone a bit off colour, but aside from that, not too bad. I mean, it's just like, it looks quite 70s, doesn't it, that whole thing? But mega thing. So that's Munchman. It's obviously a Pac-Man clone, and if you didn't know, this is kind of Space Invaders, really. Then next up, we've got a Tomy Caveman. I've had this one before. I had some of these tabletops back in the day, but I didn't have many, and I remember playing on, you know, couple. But you know, I was all into the Spectrum then, so I was never big into these. I've had them over the years, one or two, you know, started collections of them, but you know, I've always sold them on when I needed money to buy something else. So I'm determined to keep them this time. But yeah, I'd had Caveman before. Really cool little game where you're sort of a little dude trying to steal eggs off a dragon while avoiding him hitting you. Really good. There's a few colour variations of this. This is the common one, but nevertheless, really chuffed to have that. And then this is one of the one I've had this before as well, but and I played it back in the day, but it was at somewhere, you know, you take your toys to school. I remember somebody bringing it in and playing it. I think Astro Wars. This is quality. I mean, again, it's a bit like a Space Invaders clone or Galaxians, that kind of thing. In quite nice condition. These have all got the battery covers. But yeah, absolute quality Astro Wars. And then next up, it continues. I'm deep down the hole. We've got a Scramble. Grandstand again, obviously. I'm sure you know what Scramble is. This one's boxed, obviously, but I've taken it out the box. I'm just going to keep them on display, sort of as they are, not boxed up. They're just so awesome, and they look good on, you know, they look nice on the little shelf together. I don't think this is actually that good a game, if I'm honest. It's all right. I mean, I don't think Scramble's all that, but it don't translate that well to LCD, in my opinion. But you know, it's nice, so chuffed to have it. And then next up, we've got Firefox. I've never had this or played on this before, and this is quite a fun little game, I've got to say. I have got an issue with the joystick on this one. I forget which. I think it's left. I can't remember. One of the directions wasn't working, so I might need to have a bit of a play with this one. But it's in lovely condition, and it does look cool. And this one's got sort of speakers both sides, and you can switch them off like stereo or mono. Really cool. But what a lovely item. And then the last one we got, I think, is the rarer one of the lot, and that's Star Force. Some Muppets written on the box in years gone by, but nevertheless, the kind of weird joystick on this one. Again, I mean, they're all kind of similar, really. This is kind of a Galaxian style. No, hang on. What? No, hang on. One of these is like a tunnel shooter. I think it's Firefox. Yeah, Firefox is like a tunnel shooter. This one's more like a Galaxian style game. But again, so cool. I've had a quick go on them all. The lights are bouncing off the screen, terrible. But anyway, yeah, that's the funky joystick. That's Star Force anyway. And that's, I'd class that as retro gold. Hence the title. But what do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments. I've got no room for any more, so I won't be buying any more, but it's just a nice little collection to look at. The only other one I used to have back in the day is the Tomy Alien Attack, so maybe. But let me know what you think anyway. Cracking event. Great to meet everybody. Check out the channels in the description below. 2 weeks time, well, a bit less than 2 weeks time now. Last Sunday in the month, I think it is Dana and Ant's event, Hidden Chest, the Black Country Gaming Market at the Robin in Bilston. Pre-order tickets I think are still available, Dana said to me at the show, though I think most have gone. Though you can sort of turn up I think on the day and pay on the door, I believe. But it's a cracking event. In the past it has been. This new one's at a bigger venue. It's got a sorry, not a restaurant. It's got a bar in it where you can get food and drinks. So you could come and have a cracking day. It's really low cost to get in. It's one of the best events of the year. The social aspect of it's brilliant. Get yourself down there. It should be awesome. Hope to see you there. And thanks for watching. Sayonara.